everybody?
What's up, nerds and not nerds?
Not
Nerds
nerds
and
listening to
birds?
this show. Nerds and birds.
Yeah,
What?
I just thought of that because you see, nerds are
Rhymes.
nerds and birds they soar above. I smell
Okay,
burnt toast.
Alright, we're starting over. We're starting.
Scratch it.
Scrap the show. Scrap this whole. No. Yeah. How's everybody doing? How are you doing, Dan?
I'm good. I've been busy. I have a lot to talk about because I take to dares very personally, Trey.
You do. You sent me a picture like the day after we were.
No, it wasn't the day after. It was within an hour.
Yeah, the day of. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I can talk on that. But how are you? How's life? What's new?
Busy. I've been really busy. I haven't played a whole lot of games, but I have been watching stuff, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're also still in the void of Monster Hunter, right?
Yes, the only game I play right now is Monster Hunter. That's literally it.
Monster Hunter, and we're on our unholy climb again.
Yes, in the game that shall not be named.
That shan't be mentioned.
Yes, those are the only two games I play right now, so...
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah, but that game's still fun, so that's cool. I've already said my piece on it, and not my opinions of it haven't changed.
Have they done anything to fix the multiplayer yet, or is that still
I mean, it's a little... the dropping problems are a little bit better, but a lot of times you still can't find people who are online who you know are online. Like, you can't join their lobbies sometimes for no reason, and that's a little frustrating. And I was having a ton of frame rate issues, like, that were propped up post last episode. Like, it was kind of insane. I was just, like, the game ran fine on release, and then, like, a week later, it starts running really bad. Like, I would get, like, 10 FPS.
Oh, geez, flipbook.
Yeah. And then I updated my drivers, and it started running well for that day, and then, like, later that day, the FPS tanked again, and so I got the Special K mod, which apparently fixes a bunch of issues, and now it's running okay, but that's a little frustrating that they had 8 months to make a fucking PC port, and it still runs like ass.
Yeah,
and I have a 1080, so it should be able to run.
Yeah, no, you should be fine on that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Anyway, what you been up to with your new Switch powers, my boy?
Yeah, so for those who just to fill in, here's some lore, some behind the scenes. I was talking with Trey after after the last episode, we got done recording. I was like, oh man, I don't have any games to play, and I'm bored right now. I might go buy a Switch. And Trey goes, oh, I bet you won't.
Yep, which is the magic words, as it turns out.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know I'm real late to like the Switch game, but just it's a solid console. I think it's worth the $300 so far.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Like, I don't use it a ton right now, but I think the fact that it's portable is nice, and there's a lot of good games on it. So
yeah, I have like two big gripes. One is I wish it came with the Pro controller.
Yeah, that's a big a lot of people have been saying that one.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm still probably going to end up buying a GameCube controller when Smash comes out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll probably buy a controller. I don't mind the Joy-Cons that much for most games, but I don't have any like high action games on it.
Yeah,
so.
I think that's the thing. The only other thing, and this just came a problem now, and there's probably a way to turn it off, but I've been playing it for all of 20 minutes. Can you turn off tilt controls in Breath of the Wild?
I think you can.
Okay, because I'm not using those.
Oh, okay. I actually really like the tilt controls, but I played the Wii U version of Breath of the Wild, so I'm a little...
Yeah, you were kind of like tied to the gamepad.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, so I got that, and then I got 3 whole games for it, one of which is... I only got 3 games because I figured I can... Like, they're enough of a time sink, and I'm busy enough right now.
I mean, all 3 of your games are big, so...
Fire Emblem Warriors I'm almost done with.
Okay. I mean, I thought those Warrior games had, like, a ton of extra content.
So, yes and no. If you want to, like, grind out everything, like, you get all the characters just from doing the story mode. But then each kind of... I guess I'll start talking about, like, Fire Emblem Warriors. Did you get Hyrule Warriors at all?
Nope. I don't like the Dynasty Warrior I don't like the Dynasty Warrior games or any of their variants.
Yeah. I think they're good. Like, everyone, like, this will be the only one, and I'll not buy another for like a decade.
From what I've heard is that people just like to turn their brains off and play them, and I get that. I don't really enjoy it too much.
No, that's fair. It's nice because, like, it's just a game, like, if I don't want to, like, think. Also, seeing Fire Emblem characters because I'm a little bit of a Fire Emblem fan. Kind of.
I would never. I couldn't. When did what? Get out of town.
Yeah, but no. I mean, it's solid. The gameplay is hack and slash. I really hate. Yeah, I don't. There's a lot of things I don't like about it. I mean, it's a fine game. The fact that there's 3 Pegasus Knights in it, they all play the exact same.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
How many characters can you play?
I think there's like 15 or 20. There's like 15, I think, in the base game, and then they had the balls to release 9 as DLC.
Oof.
Well, and here's the thing: the DLC characters show up in the game as NPCs, and they're popular characters. Do you remember like Owain from Awakening?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an NPC.
Oh.
And like he's on your team.
He's like one of my favorite the child characters.
Yeah, he's great. Niles shows up, or Boro shows up. I can't remember his name. The Swordsmaster from Marth's game, who's super popular.
I never played that one.
Yeah. Also, like, their selection of characters is weird. There is 7 or 8 characters from freaking Fates.
Yeah, I mean that was the one that just came out when the Warriors came out, right?
No, Echoes came out before Warriors, and there's only one person from Echoes.
Oh,
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I hate Fates.
Yeah, everybody does. But they're like, oh, we have to use all of the royal family characters. So yeah, no, there's 9 from Fates.
9 from Fates. Are you serious? Yeah. Wow, that's 9
sucks. From Fates.
Out of the 18 characters.
Yeah, something like that.
So half the roster is garbage.
Yeah, half the roster is Fates. Freaking. One character from the original Game Boy Advance game. Because Lynn.
Oh, yeah.
Also, you don't get her until the end of the story campaign.
Aww.
Yeah. And
does she at least have her cool crit animation?
Oh yeah, she still has that. But
okay.
No, they did a good job with her. But Roy and Elwood and Hector can go fuck off in a corner.
But dude, my boy Hector.
Yeah, no, Hector got smacked down. Lissa, you can use Lissa from Awakening. She's a war cleric with a giant axe.
Why not?
I mean, I actually really like playing as her though.
Yeah, I mean she's great. Awakening characters are cool. I don't mind them.
Yeah. The only thing I really hate is they nostalgia baited with the Awakening scene. When you meet the Awakening characters, they do the thing where your character wakes up and it's like, hey, wake up. Man, that's a nasty yeah, they do like the beginning scene of Awakening,
that's funny.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh, how dare you. Oh, the 2 main new characters are stupid and awful, and I don't know why they put them in.
The game exclusive ones?
Yeah, they the OC. Like, they just scream, like, OC, do not steal royalty. And, like...
We made these characters. Do you like them, Dad?
Yeah, and it's like, man, I don't know why they bothered putting him in here when... Why bother having an overarching narrative?
Yeah, right? Like, you already have to, like, do some mental gymnastics to try and figure out why all the characters are there, but...
But yeah, no, there's just... The character selection is like the big thing that a lot of people I think would have a problem with. The fact that Sacred Stones doesn't even get any characters in it.
Which sucks.
Or Path of Radiance.
Which also sucks. Wait,
yeah.
Wait, Ike isn't in it?
No, Ike's not in it. There's no Path of Radiance or Radiant Dawn characters.
That's bold. This game sounds like... I'm sorry, get it in. This game sounds like it's ass. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, it's fun to play. I ignore the Fates characters.
But the character selection... I already don't like those kinds of games, so if I don't get to play the characters I like, which it sounds like almost none of them are characters I like...
Yeah. No, it's fair. I mean, I'm sure they'll come out as DLC, but because they're still...
Which is great. I can't wait to pay money for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna. It killed time. And I mean, I don't hate all of the characters from Fates.
I guess, but I don't know. Like, why does half the roster have to be Fates characters?
Because people liked it. Fates Awakening.
Why can't we just have, like, I don't know, Corrin and, like... Big titty dragon rider lady, and that's it, or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, well we got to get Camilla in there because
she's the popular one, and that's
popular.
That game. Popular, yeah, quote unquote.
Yeah, but I don't know. I really can't talk too much more on that game. I wish, that's honestly the end all be all. I wish that they would have done better character selection.
Hell, even if it had been like from Echoes, or hell, even Awakening, if most of the characters have been Awakening characters, at least like those are good characters.
Yeah, they do keep Frederick in as a playable character though, and I like Frederick.
Yeah, Frederick's nice.
Yeah, and they use his crit line for his like big finisher, his like pick a god and pray.
Yeah.
Which is great, but that's just for me. Anyway, the other games I got are a lot better.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned briefly, Breath of the Wild. I just finished the first like 4 shrines that you do.
Mm-hmm. So you're like just about to go off the plateau.
Yeah. No, it's really fun. The physics are kind of cool. I suck at it. I've died like 8 times. Because I keep on jumping in the fucking stupid frozen river.
Whoops, yeah, that'll kill you right quick.
Yeah, I did that like 5 times trying to figure out. The first time I was like, oh, I can just jump across, dead. The second time I was like, oh, I found the little block to make the bridge. Try to jump onto it, dead. Because I put it on like...
Here's the real test, Dan. How did you get up to the cold shrines? Like, what was your method?
I walked up to them.
How did you do it? How did you get past the cold?
Oh, I just was like chowing down on hot peppers the whole way up there.
Ah, okay. So you did it like the way I think probably most people. I actually I found there was a quest you can do in the plateau to get clothes that give you cold resistance. So I did that.
Oh yeah, I didn't even know there was that.
Yeah, if you have to find the old man's house, and he's if you read his journal, he'll be like, oh, I forgot a recipe on how to make fish stew with hot peppers, and then if you can figure out how to make his recipe, he'll give you his clothes, his warm clothes.
Yeah, no, that
you can get them later. It's not like exclusive to the plateau. You don't like lose it. But
yeah, I mean, I've just been running around like a shirtless buffoon.
Yeah, and if you cook food, you get a buff that lasts longer than eating them raw. So
yeah, well, and I haven't figured out how to cook yet.
Ah, okay. I'll let you figure that out on your own.
Yeah, I will say that is probably one of the best ways to start a game I've seen. It's
the plateau is amazing.
Well, and also just like when you first start it, it's just like the plain black screen, like for the first time, and it's just like, oh, Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. And then it's like, hey, step out onto our plateau and look out, oh boy!
And you just like see the whole world and you're like, oh.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's really reminiscent of like the Hylia field view from, Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, it is.
But
it's like very much that like wow moment.
Yeah,
but like,
just like
bigger.
Yeah. I see a castle.
Yeah, and it is one of those cool things where you can literally go to anything you see. It's not like one of those other open world games where like if you see her, you can go there because you can climb on anything. You can go anywhere. Yeah. I have some issues with Breath of the Wild. It's by no means a perfect game, and I'm not gonna go into it because I want to hear your impressions
I think we
of
talked about it like on the second episode of this podcast.
We talked a little bit about it, yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm not gonna elaborate because I don't want to influence your playthrough at all. But I would love to hear what you think when you like either beat the game or like when you're just like stop playing it.
Yeah, well, I'm playing it very sporadically right now, more so because I've been mainlining the last game I got. Octopath Traveler, Trey, is a really good game.
Yes, I've heard. I'm probably going to pick that up whenever Monster Hunter doesn't have its cold claws over my heart.
Yeah, no, for anybody who doesn't know Octopath, even though freaking every popular internet person has made a video on it, Donkey.
Every popular person.
Yeah, Donkey. Well, also like Yako and Magikarp made a video.
Yeah, a lot of people have made content on it, yeah.
Yeah, but it's very old school, like JRPG. Like turn-based, form a party, job system. It's made by Square Enix.
Yep.
So it's kind of like wearing Final Fantasy skin.
Yep, and it's in partnership with Nintendo, so they
But,
don't expect a port of this anytime soon.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't expect it. The only port I'm surprised doesn't exist is I don't know why it's not a 3DS game. Because it's all 8-bit. It's really nice 8-bit. Okay, so like the character sprites are 8-bit, but the world isn't.
Yeah, it's like a 3D with like 8-bit textures over it.
Yeah, I think it looks really nice.
Or 16-bit. But it's really pretty. I've like seeing the game in motion, especially the sprite art and battles, like those are crazy good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know. It's very old school JRPG, and I know it's basically like the end-all be-all. If you like old turn-based JRPGs, you'll really like
yeah,
this
and
game.
you're sick of like the Square Enix like reinventing the wheel every time a new Final Fantasy comes out.
Yeah. It also like it does some new things though. So like the weakness system, I think it's similar to what Persona did.
Mm-hmm.
I've never played the Personas. Maybe you can tell me. But like basically, when you're fighting enemies, you have to use a weapon or a spell that's their weakness to break their guard, and then they're vulnerable to everything.
Yeah, yeah. It's similar in Persona. If you use an element that's a weakness, you get an extra attack.
Okay.
That's the. But and the enemies can do the same thing to you. That's sort of like how it bounces. It's like Pokemon, but you get more. You do more damage, and you get more attacks if you the more you hit them. You can't get more than 2, but
yeah. Okay, I got you. Yeah, it's more so like you can.
But yeah, it's very much element based. Like you're saying, it's like very much weakness based combat.
Yeah, it's very much weakness based. Otherwise, enemies take like up forever to kill, which I know was like Donkey's video is actually a really good example. It takes him forever to kill this one low leveled enemy because he's not using.
He's not using the right weaknesses. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a question though. Okay. So one thing I know will bother me when I play it, and I want to know how much it bothers you, is the fact that all the characters are pretty disconnected from each other, minus some scenes. Does that get better later in the game, or is that just something you just have to get used to?
So I mean, the way I kind of feel, it's not an overarching narrative story. Mm-hmm. And the way I kind of feel is you can play the game with as many or as few of the characters if you want. It's just like whoever stories interest you, you can pick them up.
Yeah, well, my thing is I don't like the idea that you get all these characters and they basically are just having their own solo adventures and just the other characters just happen to be there.
Yeah, that doesn't get better.
Yeah, okay, that's what I wanted to know, and that will probably bother me, but if the game's good enough, I'll just get over it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I usually like a big overarching narrative. I wish, and I don't know if they'll do it at all. I kind of wish that, like, when you get to the end towards their stories, maybe the stories interact with each other.
Yeah, well, that's what I would have loved if, like, the characters met up at points, like, or, like, actually had to, like, help each... Like, maybe if they ever make a sequel to this game, like, maybe they can have their stories interweave. Like, why does it have to be 8 individual stories if they don't ever touch each other? Like, what... It's a weird narrative choice, is what I'm trying to get at. Like, it's weird that it's weird how it's 8 individual stories instead of like 8 stories that kind of coalesce into one story, you know?
Yeah. Well, and again, I feel like I haven't heard anything about how the stories will interline later. And I mean, the one thing I can also say too, it's a lot of game.
It's a big game, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've probably played about 20 hours, and I've finished 2 of the characters' chapter 2s.
Oh, okay. And like,
there's 4 chapters per character.
4 chapters, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I've been doing a lot of like side stuff in it. I've been grinding out the secondary jobs. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like, and it's cool, and it won't kill the game for me, but it is something that I personally take issue, like a little bit of umbrage with, because like it's a little weird to have the fact that characters will just think like. Besides, like, random, like, little cutscenes, they're literally just floating in a void from what I've seen. They don't really interact with each other at all.
No, yeah.
I like character banter, and I like characters interacting. I like characters impacting each other's stories. I think that's something that JRPGs especially do really well compared to Western RPGs, where, because this is something I've noticed, and there are exceptions, obviously, but in Western RPGs, you're, like, the big character, and in JRPGs, the characters are all characters, and they all have varying levels of importance in the story.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and it's just a little disappointing that they don't, like, make a story out of all of those characters. But the gameplay looks fun, it's really pretty, and it's a lot of games, so it's, I can get over that. I can get over the story stuff.
Yeah. The other thing I'll say though, with speaking of the story, so like the fact that they haven't intertwined yet.
Intertwined, yeah.
The other thing with that is a few of the characters' stories are really not good.
Yeah, I've heard it's very hit or miss.
Yeah. Also, depending on who you start with, the character that you start with, you're stuck with, they can't switch out of your party. Okay. So I would almost just say, like, do some research on the jobs beforehand to know what you want. Because I would almost just say the most useful character to start with then is Cyrus, the mage, or the scholar. Okay. But he's a mage, but he's a scholar. because we're not using traditional classes. But,
right, we're using Final Fantasy classes.
Yeah. But, like, if you start with the cleric or the hunter, you might as well just, like, I just wouldn't play then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. That's good. That's good advice, actually, because I probably would have started with, like, the dancer or something.
Well, I started with the dancer, and I really like her. She's just not super combat useful.
Yeah, and the fact that you'd be stuck with her the whole game would be a little bit much, yeah.
Yeah, the other thing that I kinda have, like, a little bit of an issue with, but I make sense of why they do it, but I feel like it's almost something to pad. Okay, so it feels like it's something to pad the game out, but it's not super bad because the leveling isn't like a grindy leveling where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
Like all my characters are about level 26 to 27 or 30.
Right.
But they still level up every like 3 fights.
Okay.
But the characters that you don't have in your party, since you only have a party of 4 at any given time, don't level up.
Yeah.
So you need to like take them along for other person's missions to grind them up.
Yeah, which is a little bit like I don't like that personally. Like that always bothered me in other JRPGs where like characters wouldn't get experience if like you weren't using them.
Yeah.
But like, and that really upsets me when like you lose a character in that party for whatever reason. Like they like leave the story. I think this happened in Vesperia because I used Raven a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I won't say why, but he leaves. He's not in the. He's not. You don't have him forever. And I was like, well, crap. Like, who am I
which is weird
here?
from the Tales series because like they even did it. If you used Kratos,
before
he leaves, Zealous just picks up his levels.
Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't. That doesn't happen with Raven. So it's
Yeah, just oof.
Which, yeah, I did grind a lot of Kratos before he left, so I was happy when that didn't matter. But
But I will say with the grinding, one more thing is that and I didn't think about this because I'm not smart, but once you know the weaknesses of the enemies, like in the overworld,
mm-hmm.
there's spots where like certain characters and certain weapons that they can have are super easy to grind up with. So,
oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. So it was like something where I was just like,
but that does kind of make it feel like a waste of time sometimes. So
kinda, it's kind of the same as if you were gonna like grind something in Pokemon. You want to take it to an area where like if you're grinding a water type, take it to the rock cave.
I get it.
Yeah, and it's not like I said, the grinding hasn't been like arduous yet. Also, if they're underleveled, as long as you know the combat system, you can usually take fights that are like 3 or 4 levels above you.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that's really all I can say on the game.
Those are the games you've been playing?
Yeah, those are the games I've been playing.
Fun stuff. I'll definitely pick up Octopath Traveler once I've, stopped only existing in Monster Hunter Land.
Yeah, I'd say if anybody's interested in Octopath, they should pick it up. Also, just a quick note about it. If you're interested, you can get a 3-hour...
you can play 3 hours of the game, and your progress carries over, right?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. It does carry over. The thing I can say with that, and you can probably finish in 3 hours, you can do a couple characters, chapter 1s, probably 2 of them. Well, yeah, you can do start with Cyrus. Don't start with Hannah, you'll hate yourself. The hunter lady.
Yeah.
And also don't start with Ophelia, because if you want to main a cleric or a mage, like a health support mage, what's wrong with
JRPG, yeah, like what are you doing? Why are you doing this?
Yeah. But yeah, no, those are what I've been playing.
Okie doke.
And yeah. I also tried replaying, speaking of the redheaded stepchild, I tried replaying through Fates lately, and it's still...
Did you give up? Because I gave up on that.
I just got bored.
Yes.
Especially because I tried replaying through Revelation, so it's just like, oh man, everything will be happy, right? Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, that game was pretty poopy for me. I never played the other. I played the first one, the
Awakening.
No, I meant Fates, the first, like the good,
Birthright?
the good, Birthright. I played. I think about half of that game, and then I gave up.
I really liked Conquest, which is the Nori.
Yeah, Conquest is. I think most people seem to like Conquest more. I might like Conquest more if I played it, but I just kind of gave up. I just don't like that world they set up very much.
Yeah, Conquest was freaking hard too. But
yeah, that was what they were told. Like Birthright was. That's why I started with Birthright, because I was like, I'll play the easy one first and then go into the hard one. I didn't want to do it the reverse. I didn't want to do it the other way around, where it's like, I'll go to the hard one first and then make my other game easier. I didn't think that sounded weird to me, so I was like, okay, I'll do the easy one first, then play the other one. And I hated Birthright so much I just gave up on the whole Fates line.
No, that's fair. Yeah, no, that's completely fair. Echoes saved it though. Echoes is really good.
Yeah, Echoes is good. I'm playing Echoes right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. It's very different.
For sure. Yeah, it's
a lot of different stuff. But I'm enjoying it. I like the two main characters quite a bit.
Yeah,
I have a hard time picking between who to play, and the game punishes you if you focus too hard on one of them. So I was like, that gives me trouble just because like I'd like to get further in one of their stories, but the game's like, oh hey, look at all these units that are gonna bum rush you if you don't get such bad.
No, for sure. It's also, I like how that game does more so the duality better of like these two people trying to find a way than Fates being like, oh man, Hoshido and Nor are gonna fight, and they both think the other's evil.
And Hoshido's obviously the good one.
Yes.
Western society's a bad.
Yes. And then don't forget Revelation, where it's like, oh hey, they're both not right. They're both good people. Just jump down this cave with me, and the magical ghost demons are causing it.
Oh.
Spoilers for Revelation.
That's stupid. It's really dumb.
Stupid. I'll go into a rant some other time when I don't want to rant on it. I really like the Fire Emblem series. Let me lead with that. But man, Fate's shit the bed. Awakening still holds up, I think.
Yeah, Awakening's so good. I replayed Awakening recently. That game is so good.
Oh yeah.
It's like it's probably my favorite one, right next to the Path of Radiance.
Yeah, it's like Radiant Dawn, Path of Radiance, the OG, the American OG. Mm-hmm. And then
I played Sacred Stones first, so that one has a more. I hold that in higher regard just because I played it before I played the original.
Yeah, well, in Sacred Stones,
the Game Boy original, I should say.
Yeah, Sacred Stones 2 gives you the grinding option, so your characters can just become these unkillable gods.
Yeah, and I think that as a first time for a first time Fire Emblem player was really appreciated.
Yeah. Whereas in, like, the other one, it's like, hey, I hope you didn't funnel all your experience into Marcus because now your lords all suck.
And that's never a good. But moving off of games though, if you don't mind, I haven't been playing a whole lot of games, but I have been watching.
Fire Emblem Three Houses is coming out soon, and not soon, in December, and I want it.
Yeah, me too. I want that game so bad.
Yeah. Anyway,
there's a few Switch games what's the Ex Machina one with big robots? That one looks good.
Oh, yeah.
Machine Ex Machina. That one looks good.
Okay. Yeah, I just know Fates and Smash.
Smash. And Smash, of course.
Yeah.
Which I'm so hype about. Oh my goodness, Smash is gonna be great. Anyway, TV shows. There's a few. I've watched a few of them. I've watched a lot of TV. Okay, so in my continuing iZombie adventures, I'm on season 3, right? Mm-hmm. I'm on about halfway through season 3. And I don't think I like season 3 very much.
Go on.
I like season 2. I actually, like, the end of season 2 was actually really good. I actually really enjoyed, like, the villain of season 2 was really charismatic. I think that's the problems. Like, season 1 and season 2 had really good, charismatic villains. Because, like, Blaine was the bad guy in season 1, and he was very charismatic. And then he's not a bad guy in season 2, but the Max Rager CEO is the bad guy in season 2. Not really a spoiler because they put that out pretty early. He's really good. Yeah, he's a really good villain. I like him a lot. Season 3, there doesn't seem to be a villain, or like the villain's very ambiguous as to like who's like the bad they're going against. Like I'm not sure if it's supposed to be Blaine's dad or like anti-zombie racists or what. I'm not really sure who the villain is supposed to be, and which kind of a lot of the cohesion in the plot's kind of fallen through. There's also a decision they made with Blaine, and they made really early on, which I hated. I really disliked. Like there was something that happened. I'm not gonna say what, but there's something that happens with Blaine, which is terrible. Like I turned off the episode. It was so stupid. Mm-hmm. Which is not the first time that's happened. I've done that a few times with this show, because I contest. I think I hate this show. I still think I do, but I can't stop watching it. Like, there's a lot not to like about the show. I just really like Liv and I like Robbie, and I hate Major. There's a few characters. I like the cop guy.
Oh yeah, does he become a character yet, or is he still
sort of? He's more of a character now than he was in season 2, I guess. I think they're trying to make him a character now. I think that's like the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what got me in season 1. He was just like, oh hey, look at me doing this. I don't know. I finished season 1. The end of season 1, that was a really dumb finale.
It was. None of the finales are great. 2's was alright. Yeah, for the season 1 finale was meh.
Yeah.
Mostly because I hate Major. Please, I just want Major out of this goddamn show.
And didn't get punished for it.
Yeah, no, you want this. That's a recurring theme. It happens a lot. You wanna if you don't like Major and Major Lillywhite's enough to ruin this show for you, you are not gonna like this show. This show will make you hate him so much. Like he rubber bands so much from being like just unlikable to like seriously, why is he still alive? Because he makes so many bad decisions that he never gets punished for.
Yeah,
like,
no, I'm just.
I don't know if it's just like a serialized TV thing. Like, it's just like, oh, we can't have anything of consequence happen because it's a TV show. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I won't dwell on it because I have other TV shows to talk about. But iZombie, yeah. I think it can be better. That's the thing. Like, I think there are moments in the show where I'm like, oh, especially like in between the murders, because the murders are just such a nothing burger that I just kind of ignore them most of the time. Like, I literally will just throw it on while I'm drawing or playing Monster Hunter, and then, like, I'll pay attention when, like, the non-murder stuff is happening, because, like, the murders are just, like, you want to see Liv run around acting like an idiot, because she turns into, like, a complete moron every time she eats a brain.
She just does something different. This is like, oh, hey, she likes art now.
And I feel like it gets more extreme every season. Like, before it was just, like, little things, like, she would just, like, take on their aspect slightly, and now it's, like, literally, she becomes such a crazy person that literally her friends can't even deal with her. Like, she's just like and I'm just like, it's funny, but it's also really like annoying, I guess, because it's just like
excuse me, why are you doing all this?
Why are you doing this? Other zombies never do this.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I think it still just plays the fact that I don't know. Especially looking at some of the other seasons, just the fact that Blaine, they're just like, oh, hey, he's fine. We're just not going to do anything now after he literally murdered children.
Oh, yeah. Literally killed children off the streets. Do you remember that time when he killed Liv's boyfriend? Remember that? Remember when he did that? Because the cast doesn't seem to remember when he did that.
Yeah.
And, okay, alright, I'm gonna put this... Do you care if I say anything spoilery about the show?
No, go for it.
Okay, so spoilers inbound. I'm not gonna spoil a ton of it, but there's just one detail that I have to get off my chest because it bothers me so much. Okay, so, Blaine and, Liv's, roommate end up getting together.
Of course.
So, yeah, they get together because she thinks she thinks he's like a witness to this bad guy, Mr. Boss, in season 2. And he's a good bad guy, but, yeah, so they sleep together. Then Liv's like, oh, well, Blaine's like the worst person ever. He kills so many people, but we need him because of the zombie apocalypse or whatever. And then she gets really disgusted with him. And then, okay, so here's where it starts getting really stupid. And this is where I'm just like, okay, but why though? All right, so Ravi makes a cure for zombieism.
Which he already did.
Out of Tiny Utopian. Yeah, so he gives it to... Blaine gets it in season 1, turns him human. Blaine becomes a zombie again because when him turning human kills him. He gets his throat slit and then he has to become a zombie again.
Yes.
Yeah. But then he's dying because apparently turning back into a zombie after you turn human the first time kills you. And so he gets the cure again, and this time it makes him lose his memory. Okay? So... This, if this is sounding stupid, believe me, it gets so much worse. So Blaine is... So now, Prospector, Liv's roommate, whose name I can't recall because I'm bad at names.
Not important,
yeah, she ends up getting back together with Blaine, having known that when he had his memories, he was a complete shitheel who killed all of everybody and is terrible to everyone. She ends up getting back together with him anyway. Good. And everybody and everybody in the cast knows about it, and they seem to be okay, especially Liv. Liv is the most confusing one. She's okay with it, and I cannot for the life of me figure out why. Like, just because he lost his memories doesn't immediately erase everything he did.
Yeah, just, all of a sudden that's fine. I just,
Yeah, and then in season 3, and it gets even worse because it turns out that the memory loss only lasts for a couple days, so Blaine had his memory the whole time, and now Liv's upset at him, but, like...
because, he lied.
Yeah,
also
but not
children.
Because of all the murders, all the people he killed.
Yeah.
I'm convinced they intended to kill him off in season 2. I'm convinced of it, but I think he's such a popular character that they don't want to get rid of him because, like, the actor is really good for him. He's very charismatic, but at the same time, you can't just let him get away with this. Like,
literal murder.
Murder of children and the main character's boyfriend, who everyone forgot about.
Oh, well, and that too. But I mean, fuck him. He was British.
Yeah, he was British. Idiot.
Yeah, how dare he be British?
I'll get off of this because I have more things to talk about. More disappointing shows. I've been on a very disappointing show binge recently.
Yeah, actually, I forgot. I have one of those too.
Oh, yeah. Alright, so... Okay, so I've been watching some Netflix originals, specifically cartoons, because I like cartoons. I watched Guillermo del Toro's Troll Hunter.
Oh.
I had to stop watching because I got really upset because I couldn't finish it. It's 3 seasons long. I will say, plus side, animation is gorgeous. The show is amazing to look at. Like, if you just watch it for any length of time, the show is absolutely beautiful. And season 1 is very strong. Season 1's is a really good show. I think that Del Toro stepped away from production after season 1. I could be wrong about that, but it would make a lot of sense because season 2 and 3 are really bad. That's the reason I kind of go up to that, because like it's the first season is like a school comedy almost, but the main character has armor that can turn him into a guy that can fight trolls. That's the whole thing. Like, there's an evil set of trolls that are running around trying to resurrect their dark king, and he was chosen after the other troll hunter dies to hunt them, but he's a human. Troll hunters are supposed to be trolls. That's like sort of the whole comedy aspect of it comes in. And it's good. It's got really, really good action scenes. In season 1 especially, there's some really, really solid action choreography. There's some high stakes, like main characters die off in the first season, and like the writing, while kind of like, it's 50-year-old men writing high schooler dialogue, sometimes it's very much that, but it's also not terrible. Like, characters are likable even if they are like weird. But yeah, season 2 is where it starts getting bad though. Like, it's just like it cannot hold itself up anymore. It just cannot figure out what it wants to be anymore. And then the main villain is terrible. He's so bad. I can't deal with. I don't know how much you're probably not super interested in the show, but
no, I mean, it's not. It was something that I looked at and I thought it was like a kid show. It's
a kid show in the sense that like Steven Universe is a kid show, so it is a kid show, but like it's not something. It's at least season 1 is something that an adult can watch and enjoy.
Okay.
Yeah. Whereas so verdict on that one is season 1 was good, season 2 was bad, season 3 was better. It got slightly better. The villain switches to somebody else, and then somebody else is actually a lot better than the original villain.
Good.
But yeah, action scenes are still good. Animation is amazing. The title card is awful. Like the opening theme is like really bad. I don't know why. And I like Del Toro. I like Del Toro's work a lot, so I thought I'd give it a go.
Yeah.
I'd definitely give this one a pass, though. Personally, I don't like if you're coming in expecting this to be like the next Avatar or something. Like, it's not. It's pretty.
It's
meh.
not. No.
Yeah. But speaking of Avatar, I also watched a lot of Voltron, the Legendary Defender.
Yeah. Oh, did you not like it?
I like it with some caveats. Did you watch it?
That's fair. I watched 2 seasons, I think.
Okay, yeah. I got to the end of season 5. Season 7 just came out.
Yeah.
The seasons in this show are really weird because the first 2 seasons are like 13 episodes, and then it goes to like 6 episode seasons, and then the newest season is I'm sorry.
Again.
Yeah, it's 13. It's really weird because like the season 6 is like 4 episodes long, and then season 7 is 13. I don't understand. But okay, so
Yeah.
what I like about the show is, one, it's gorgeous, like the animation. It's the people who did The Legend of Korra. So if you know those people, then you know how well they do choreography and like character designs and stuff. It's really good as long as like there's not a whole lot of 3D happening, because the 3D can be very as Gygax would say, did I get stuck in a bad 3D anime?
Bad 3D anime. Oh no.
Yeah, and there's a lot of that. Like the lines can be really not jarring to look at sometimes. But okay, so here's what my issues come with, and it's a lot of story issues, not necessarily like. And a lot of it comes down to pacing. I think the show can get a little too obsessed with being a military drama. Like,
Yeah,
like
it doesn't have to be.
more so, like they focus more on like the military operations more so than the plot happening. Because like, there's you probably didn't get to Lotor, did you? I don't. Not if you got season 2.
So.
Yeah. So there's a character called Lotor, and he's sort of like the central villain of like a few arcs. And for the life of me, I cannot figure out all like what his plans are, because the show doesn't explain them, and they never seem to make sense. Like they kind of put him off this, like they kind of show him off as like this grand tactician kind of character, but like his plans don't make sense, and I think that's entirely due to like the run length of the show. Like they only have 6 episodes a lot of times when he's on there to like try and convince you that he's some big tactician.
Yeah.
Like, they introduce his whole posse. He's got like an entire female posse of like badasses, right? And like they barely do anything. Like they have really cool designs, and then like they do almost nothing. They all of a sudden, with the exception, like they introduce one of his characters before he's introduced, and like they make a big deal about her, and then she gets introduced. They never bring it up again, barely, and then she does nothing and betrays him. It's like, okay, what? Like,
yeah, what and why?
Yeah, like it's just some. Like, I wish they would have spent more time on the characters and less time on like the big action set pieces, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I'm expecting too much out of it, but it feels like it should. It feels like it should have like it feels like it should be able to. I feel like that there's enough talent on that show that they shouldn't keep falling into this. It's let's do big set piece moments over and over again instead of developing the characters or having the plot make sense.
Yeah,
I'd say watch it though. Like, if you enjoy the animation, there are some really cool scenes. There's a fight between Lotor and the big bad that is amazing. I really enjoyed that fight. Like, it's really cool. There's a lot of really cool fights in the series. I just go in knowing that there's a lot of inconsistencies. Like, you'll find if you come in looking for plot holes, you will find them.
And boy, will I go looking.
Yeah, like there's some plot holes you could drive like an entire spaceship through, but like it's still a fun series.
How big of a spaceship?
Like the castle size one they fly
like
in.
A planetary cruiser.
Yeah, like there's some real big ones. There's some big plot holes. But yeah, what show did you watch that you were disappointed by, Dan?
Well, okay, 2 actually. 1, I wasn't really disappointed. It just is an old show, and I think it still holds up as a concept. It's just not super pretty to look. Okay, kind of. It's kind of pretty, but kind of not. I watched Madoka.
Ah, right. Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah. Madoka was fine. It's a nice.
It's a good show. It's just I definitely don't put it in like my top 5 anime to watch, but.
No, not at all. I think it's interesting. I don't get why everybody like makes such a big deal. Even the scene with Mommy isn't like It's just like it's jarring from the fact that if you know it's coming, you're like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I mean, if you had the benefit, because I didn't know it was coming when I saw it, and I was like, wow, that's different.
Yeah, I'm like, that's different. It's kind of like your first time watching School Live.
Yeah, exactly.
But the other one, I don't have too many opinions. Basically, if you like anime, you probably have seen Madoka or know about Madoka. But the disappointment, Disenchantment came out, and man...
Ah, right. I forgot you watched that.
Yeah, I kind of did too.
Oh, ooh.
I mean, so, okay, oof. I like a lot of that show. There's things to like. The first episode is one of the worst first episodes of any series I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everything falls flat. Their timing and a lot of the jokes is off. It just doesn't feel like it's Matt Groening at his best.
Right.
It's better than The Simpsons, though. I can say that. It's closer to Futurama than Simpsons.
Right. It seemed more Futurama-y than Simpsons-y. Just in the trailer.
Yeah. And there's some good jokes. Eric Andre is really good in it. The voice actor for Princess Bean, I can't remember her name, is also really solid. The elf character, his voice actor is really bad.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I can't believe that they kept some of the takes that he did. And I know it's like he's supposed to do the awkward, naive thing, but just like he doesn't feel natural saying the lines half the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I mean, like the classic, Matt Groening character show up. Billy West shows up. John DiMaggio is the king.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think it has potential to be a lot better. I think it really suffers.
Do you think it'll get a season 2?
Oh, I think it already is. I think it already has one signed on.
Oh, okay. Because what I was worried about is that he's never really done a story sequential show. Like it's always been episodic, even like even there can be plot points that can carry over, but he's very much a master of the episodic show, right? Like
No, and that literally was the point I was going to make of. I think he suffers from trying to set it up as too episodic.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm fine with the kind of overarching certain things happen, but from episode to episode, just I think sometimes he tries to make too much to make it the thing of oh man, this character sure did grow since last episode.
Yeah, and it can be. The fact that he works on so many episodic stuff can make it seem really forced and artificial. Seems like.
Yeah. I would have much preferred if he just kind of did hey, let's watch Princess Bean's pastime adventures.
Yeah.
And it kind of it does when it does that, it's pretty good. When they try to carry over these big overarching things, it's very meh.
Yeah, well, that's too bad. I'm probably still gonna watch it because I like.
Yeah, I'd watch it still. I'd recommend watching it. It's good. It was worth watching. It sequel baits really hard for a second season, which I think is weird because now that Matt Groening knows he can get new seasons for his shows, compared to Futurama and stuff. The only other thing I'll say about the show really is I really hate a lot of people I've seen when they defend this show. They're just well, Futurama wasn't well received on release either, and I'm like, yeah, but here's the thing: now we've watched all of Futurama, and we can tell it's when it gets good and bad.
Yes. I mean, yeah, I feel like you don't judge a show by what it could be, you judge a show by what it is, generally speaking.
Yeah.
I mean, at least for me. I don't know, I personally have a hard time judging something by what it has potential to be. I'm very, and there are exceptions, obviously, but if, most of the time, if I watch something and it sequel baits, and I'm like, well, there's potential here, but I didn't like the base product, then I'm probably not gonna waste my time trying to.
Yeah, overall, I do like the base product. I think I think I might have psyched myself up too much of oh man, it's gonna be Futurama but fantasy,
right?
And it really wasn't. But it does okay.
All right. Okay.
I'd say watch it. I'm probably not gonna watch it again until the second season comes out.
Right.
But I mean, I'm also speaking with bias. Futurama is literally my favorite TV show ever.
Yeah,
made, so.
it's your favorite, so I understand why you'd be a little disappointed.
Yeah,
it's a hard show. It's a hard show to top.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not gonna say they made a really. It's not a perfect show, but it's my favorite show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we wrap up, I have one more show, and this one's relevant because it came out literally 2 days ago. The Innocents is the new Netflix show. I watched the first episode and a half of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is it?
Oh, okay, so The Innocents, I guess the premise is it's British. It's a British show. It's set in England, I think. Um, but like, I can't really tell what genre this is. I'm not really sure what genre it wants to be because, and this is both a complaint and like a plus for the show. Because like I'm leaning towards horror. I think it's trying to be like a horror thriller show, but one thing that it does that bothers me a lot, and a lot of horror movies do this, especially horror movies trying to like get a big audience, like a larger audience, is it plays a lot of licensed music. Instead of using like its own soundtrack, which it has a really good soundtrack, which is this is what bugs me about it. And the licensed music does not, because like it's framed like a horror thriller, and the actual music is like a horror soundtrack. But the licensed music they pick is not horror-y at all, and I'm just very confused as to like what the tone of the show is supposed to be. But the premise is interesting because basically, from what I've gathered, because the first episode's very confusing, I still don't know what's going on fully. But there's a guy and a girl, and they are trying to sneak out. Like they're trying to leave because the girl is under her father's kind of abusive, so she wants to get out, and the guy loves her, so he buys a car and intends that he like takes her away, basically. And they're both in high school. They're both like 16. And that's like the premise of the show, but what we find out like pretty early on is that there are people with abilities in the show. Like there are characters that have abilities of some sort. And the girl apparently has an ability where she can they knock out this one guy because he's trying to kidnap the girl, and then later in the show, they think they killed him, and later in the show she goes back and gets him, and then she ends up turning into him, and that's where it left off at the end of episode 1. And it's very interesting. I'm not sure. I'm going to continue watching it. I'll give you the should you watch it or not later, because I can't really tell if I like it or not. But I will say the cinematography is really good, so it's framed really well, and the music, when it's not like licensed, is also really good. So I really want to like the show. I'm hoping it once it explains itself, I'm hoping it's interesting, because like this is one of those shows where if it's not good, it could just like fall on its face. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say about it. Because we have some challenges.
Oh yeah, it's time again.
It's that time, everybody.
But is it a challenge if we want the other person to like it?
Yeah, it's how good are we at picking good stuff. Here's the answer: not very good. We have no taste. Stop watching this podcast. Go home.
Yeah, I mean, I have shit taste, but we've known this for years.
All right, so yeah, we've been good boys, Dan. We've been good boys.
We deserve this now.
We deserve good things. You watch your manga, Sensei. You deserve the world.
Stop watching lollies.
Yes, there are no. In fact, my show is a disgusting normie show set in the real world. So I'm sorry.
Live action.
Yeah, live action with real people. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Bring it on. I'm not scared.
Okay, so what I'm gonna make you watch is based off of a book that I really enjoyed. I've talked about it in the show before. I want you to watch Altered Carbon. I don't think you have, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a Netflix original. It's more or less faithful to the book. I know you're not a huge fan of sci-fi most of the time, but
yeah, I mean, when I like sci-fi, I really like sci-fi though. So
yeah. I'm hoping the premise is good enough that it'll keep you hooked. It's not a perfect show by any means, but I enjoyed it. So I want you to watch Altered Carbon. I want to know what your opinions are on it. Maybe you won't like it. I liked it. But I want to see what you like about Takeshi Kovacs' happy, fun space times.
Yeah, no, I'll see how I feel. I can stand it. I need new shows. I need things to watch.
Yeah. All right. So
it does not take an entirely large amount of focus to play Octopath.
No. I mean, especially if you're grinding.
Yeah.
All right, but what do I get? I'm a bated breath.
So I'm trying to decide for you. Do you want senseless action or do you want to cry?
Am I crying because it's sad, or am I crying because it's like happy? Am I crying?
It's pretty sad. The end gets pretty sad. The last episode's super sad. You'll cry manly tears.
Is it an anime?
It is an anime because I don't have any live action stuff right now.
Okay.
At least none that I can think of that we haven't both watched. Actually, I gotta Trey. I need you to watch all 9 seasons of Friends.
Of course. 10 seasons. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I need you to watch all 10 seasons.
All 10 seasons of Friends.
Yeah, and then just let me know like what your descent into madness was like.
It's like 24 episodes a season.
Yeah. You'll be done by like January.
It's like 500 episodes.
No, I'm not making you do that. God, no.
Yeah. Okay. Just I don't care which. Pick one. I want to watch the show.
Let's give you Census Violent. Have you watched Drifters?
I have not watched Drifters. No, I've watched like the first episode of Drifters.
Okay, you're gonna watch the rest of Drifters because I need somebody else to wait with me for a season 2 of that.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, the other one, if you feel up to it, is You're a Lie in April.
You're a Lie in April. Okay.
Which is really good, but you might not like it because you don't like, to feel real emotions.
No, I'm not a real human being.
Yes, not a real human being.
But yeah, that's it. We've been good old good boys, and after we watch these, we're back to being bad.
Yeah, something like that.
Assuming we weren't already bad, but you guys all knew that.
True. But all right, that's.
But it. We can sign off. But yeah, and anyway, as always, I'm Trey.
I'm Dan. And Bert.
And that was a good take. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later.